Shall I start recording now? Lovely, thank you very much. Right guys, it is 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a Monday and we are very lucky because we're starting the day with some yoga, learning how to do yoga for back pain. Louise is very progressive in her thinking for the module, so teaching yoga and Pilates, which are different methods of encouraging movement. We all know that movement is medicine and motion is lotion, particularly for our back pain patients. So what little introduction about yoga. So if you just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you've done yoga before, guys. Quick thumbs up in the chat. You've done yoga before? Okay, so that's pretty much everyone. Okay, so different forms of yoga will require, you've attempted to, Charlotte, that's fine. So different forms of yoga will do different things. So you've got spiritual practices like Kundalini yoga, and then you've got other things that are just stretching and moving and breathing, more like sports yoga. That's similar to what I do. So what we want to do is introduce you to the concept of aligning breath work and posture work. So these two concepts of breath and posture. Just going to turn the music off for a second. So breath and posture. Breath is called prana in yoga, and postures are called asana. So we're talking about prana and asana, posture and breath, and yoga is about union of the body and the mind. It's about stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, so getting away from that fight or flight. Lots of your patients with back pain will be in this high adrenal state, and yoga is about calming them down, relaxing them, dropping their stress hormones and getting into that parasympathetic nervous state with the breathing. So breath is key because breath is the tool that you use to calm the nervous system down, and it's actually evidence-based. So one of the techniques we're going to learn that it is evidence-based, this will definitely calm down the sympathetic nervous system, stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, is what we call box breathing. Box breathing is really, really simple. There's nothing that you need to learn about box breathing. It's really easy to do. So you're going to breathe in for 4, you're going to hold for 4, you're going to breathe out for 4, you're going to hold it with no breath in, and then you repeat. Okay, so it's nice and simple box breathing. Now, we're going to use a 4 count for your box breathing because that's probably the easiest to start with. If you get comfortable with the number 4 and you can hold your breath for 4, you can breathe out for 4, and that's easy, that's flowing, that's natural. What you can do is progress to 5, 6, 7, 8, and eventually some people get up to 20. I'm not asking you to do that today, but we need to start with some breathing. Okay, so what I want you to do is get yourself in a comfortable sitting position. So get yourself nice and comfortable on hopefully your mat. I'll just get in that right position. Now, I like to sit on a block. If you haven't got a block, then a cushion will do because we're going to be here for a while. Okay, so what we're going to do, just relax, shake the shoulders, relax the body, and then all we're going to do is breathe effectively together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 4. So as we breathe in, so just breathe in for 4. I'm going to hold for 4. And then I'm going to breathe out for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Okay, so that's the sequence. What I want to do is just 2 minutes of that. So all I want you to do, just close your eyes, go within, thinking about your breathing, and try and focus on your breathing. This focus on your breath means that you're concentrating on breath only, and you can't focus on, for instance, the back pain that patients might get. Okay, so we're going to do 2 minutes from now, just working in your own time with your own breath. Okay, it's going to be not very exciting watching me, but what I will do is I'll try and do the actions if you want to breathe with me. Okay, if you want to breathe on your own, that's all fine. Okay, so we'll begin. So we start by breathing in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. And relax. So just shake your shoulders, roll them, move your neck, twist your body, and you should feel a state of relaxation from that breath work. The reason we start with breath work is going to help us center, and it's going to help us focus. So hopefully you should feel a lot more relaxed. Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat if you feeling a bit more zen and relaxed? Thumbs up in the chat if you're feeling a bit more relaxed, please. Yeah, good. Okay, so what we're going to move on to, that's good. What we're going to move on to now is a little bit of a spinal sequence that's going to help our patients. And it's going to be nice and easy, nice and relaxed, not too stressful, not too much pressure. So we're going to start on your knees. So I'm going to wiggle back a bit. So you're in this kneeling position with your knees together like this. What you're going to do is you're going to put your fingers together and stretch them up. Try not to have them here. Try and stretch them up nice and high, knees together. Big breath in. And breathe out, and you lean to one side. So just leaning over to the side, feeling a good stretch in the side of the body. Breathe in. and return to center. Breathe in, breathe out, and we're over to the other side. Just feeling a stretch down the body. You notice I'm pushing my hip out as I lean over. Breathe in, breathe out, back to center. We're going to repeat that one more time. Try and really push the arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out, over to one side. Push the hip out to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out, back to center. Other side. Breathe in, breathe out, twisting over to one side. Breathe in, breathe out, back to center. Okay, so what we're doing is just some easy lateral flexion, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Now we're going to do some spinal extension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block my own lower back, and all I'm going to do is arch back and center. You notice that I'm not going like all the way back. Okay, it's just an arch in the back. So hands onto the lower back. Breathe in, breathe out, and we're just arching back. Try not to lift the head all the way up. Just a gentle arch in the back. Breathe in, breathe out, back to center. Good. We could do that one more time. Breathe in, breathe out, just going back. Gentle spinal extension. Breathe in, breathe out, and back to center. So notice we're in a nice safe position from our knees and we're not standing. Okay, the only movement we haven't done is going forwards. So when we're going forwards, we're going to just roll forwards, but from this kneeling position. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll down. My fingertips might touch the floor and I'll roll back up. This is a lot easier than doing a standing toe touch. Standing toe touch, your patients don't want to do, but this kneeling position creates a much more achievable goal on the floor. Okay, so breathe in to repair, breathe out, and as we just going down, we're just trying to reach for the floor. We might not get there. Breathe in, breathe out, and coming back up. Okay, that's really nice. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Okay, so that is some basic spinal movement. We're going to be coming on to some other spinal movements in a little bit later. So now we're going to focus on the pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilt is massively important with regard to spinal health. So what I want you to do, put one hand on your tummy, one hand on your lower back, and all I want you doing is pushing the hips forwards, like you're doing a thrusting movement, and then sticking the bottom out, and just going between those two movements. Just pelvic tilting. So here we're in anterior pelvic tilt, here we're in posterior pelvic tilt. And all we're doing is just feeling the extremes between those two movements. Just nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Okay, this pelvic position, really, really important. Just working here, creating that hyperlordotic position, and then flattening the lumbar curve. Just doing this a couple of times, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Good. From here, we're going to take that down to a 4-point kneeling position. So I'm in 4-point kneeling here. And what I'm going to do is, as I tuck my pelvis under posteriorly tilt, I'm going to bring my head down and go into a cat stretch. And then, as I breathe out, I'm going to extend, lift my head up, and stick my bottom out into a cow stretch. So this is cat-cow with a breath. It looks like this. So breathe in. Tuck the pelvis under, breathe out, lift the head up, stick the bottom out. You should feel it stretching all down the spine. Let's do a couple of those. Breathe in, tucking the pelvis under, breathe out, lifting the head up, sticking the bottom out. One more, breathe in, breathe out, lift the head up, stick the bottom out, and just relax. Okay, so what we're doing is we're working the spine in a nice, easy position there. Okay, so what we've done is some fairly clinical sort of forward and back, side to side movements. Now what we want to do is encourage a circular movement in the spine. So we're in 4-point kneeling again. And then rather than just rock backwards and forwards, what I'm doing is I'm rolling round with my hips. So I'm rolling round with my hips and creating some spinal circles. So what we're doing is we're just rolling round with the hips, moving the back in this way. I'm going in a clockwise direction. So I'm just rolling round in this position here. I'm going to stop and go back the other way. So I'm just rolling round. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. The spine is rotating, moving in a very free way. Good. Okay, from this angle, we're going to stretch the lats. So we're going to come back into child's pose. So child's pose is sitting back on your heels and placing your arms out in front there with your head down. So that's child's pose as well. And this is a resting place that we go to, massively important because it's a nice comfortable spinal flexion. It's a nice safe position here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into child's pose and just spend about 30 seconds here. So sitting back on your heels. If you are a lad, you probably want a wider grip, a wider stance with your legs. So when you come down into child's pose, it's a bit more comfortable for you. So head down on the floor, just a quick 30 seconds of child's pose. Head down, sitting back on the heels, okay? Legs wide if you want to, or narrow, whatever's up to you, and just arms outstretched and just enjoying child's pose there. Nice, easy child's pose. Relaxing into this position. Okay, coming up, back onto all fours. And then what I want you to do is slowly walk the hands forwards a little bit, and then push the hips forwards. So we take our weight, almost like a press up from the knees. And then we're coming back again, back into child's pose. And then back into this press up from the knees. Okay, so here we're going from global spinal flexion into a little bit of extension. So we're pushing the hips almost downwards to the floor, and we're getting a little bit of arch there. See how we're doing this in a slow, progressive way. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Easing into this extension here. Okay, we're going to do one more. Back. And then just extending the hips there. What you can do is you can look up, and you're going to get a nice global spinal extension. So what you're doing now is just 5 of these, going from child's pose into this position here, kind of modified upward dog position, and just easing into the spine. Just 5 of those. Have a go on your own. Okay, so backward and forwards with that movement, just easing ourselves into that extension movement. Lovely. Couple more. Good. Okay, and finishing there. So what we're going to do now is a little bit of dissociation. So dissociation movement is when we're going to move one body part and keep the other body part still. So this is a really good way of dissociating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into this position, and I'm relaxed there, and I kind of hold my knees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slouch with my shoulders, let my scapulars protract, and then I'm going to bring my chest forwards and proud. Okay, back with the shoulders and chest proud. Just do that a couple of times, guys. Back with the shoulders and chest crowd. Good. So that's moving that upper torso. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tuck the pelvis under and then straighten. Tucking the pelvis under and straighten. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the pelvis independent from the back. Okay, so we do one of these. Breathe in, breathe out, and we roll back. Breathe in, breathe out, proud chest. Do one more. Breathe in, breathe out, roll back. Breathe in, breathe out, proud chest. Good. Now the pelvis. Breathe in, breathe out, tucking the pelvis under. Breathe in, breathe out, extending the pelvis, anteriorly tilting. So this time posterior tilt. Breathe in, breathe out, posterior tilt. Breathe in, breathe out, anterior tilt. Okay, that's wonderful. Really challenging exercise, dissociating the pelvis from the spine. Now we're going to reward ourselves by just lying on our backs. And then what you do, with your knees wide, you just windscreen widening the knees. So what I'm doing is I'm just rolling the knees side to side. Just in that position there. Just doing a couple of these. Just twisting the body. Should feel really nice. Just getting a gentle spinal twist there. Good. What you do now is extend your hands and your legs out. So you're in this position there. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend one arm up, and on the same side, we push the leg away. So we get a good stretch through the body, and then we do that the other side. So we're just stretching in that position. Keep going. So as one arm stretches up, the leg is stretching down. So we're doing this kind of movement there, like that. Getting a good stretch, elongating the spine and the tissue. That's good. Couple more of those. Good. Okay. From this position, we're now going to bring the knees into the chest. So lying on your back. And just gently bring your knees in. And we'll just gently pull them up towards your head a couple of times. Here we're creating that posterior pelvic tilt and some spinal flexion. Good. So this is a nice, comfortable, safe flex position that we're just working into there. Good. Hands under your knees and roll backward and forwards until you're in a seated position here. Okay? In this seated position, so your legs are out in front, all I want you to do, place your hands across your chest, and we're just going to twist over to the left, back to the center, twist over to the right. Back to the center. This time, as we twist to the left, take one hand to the knee and just reach behind. So I'm look over your shoulder, back to the center, swap it over. Grab hold of the knee, rotate, look over your shoulder, just getting a nice thoracic rotation here. We'll do that again. Grab hold of the opposite knee, switch over, back to center, and the other side. Good, so that's a nice spinal twist. From this position, put the legs a bit wider. Put one hand on the floor, other hand up, and we're just going to laterally flex again, over to the side. Try and look towards the arm. Good. This arm comes down, and we do the same thing the other side. Twisting over, getting a good spinal flexion there. And the other side. Good. Last time. And back to center. So here we've got a nice opportunity to just check in with our body and see how we feel. So with your legs outstretched. Okay, now you might not be able to reach your toes. Don't worry. What you can do is bend your legs slightly and then reach your toes. And then what you can do is you can then walk your legs out if you feel that that's a comfortable position for you. Or you can keep your legs in. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're feeling a stretch from the back of the legs and hamstrings. Okay, and all down that posterior chain. Okay, keep the knees bent if you need to. Okay, knees straight if you're more comfortable in that. And all we're doing is just checking in. How does this forward fold feel? Okay, and then easing up. And then the last one to finish, we're going to lie on our tummies. So come around, lie on your tummy. And all we're going to do is come up into this Sphinx position here. Okay, the pelvis is down, and I'll walk the elbows out so that the rib cage is down on the floor. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to just look up slightly and then come back down again. So I'm getting a bit of thoracic extension here, looking up into that position. Good. A couple more of those. Good. One more. Excellent. And then from this position, we're just going to extend up into a Cobra position. So coming down and back up. This is spinal extension. So we're extending the spine back here. Good. Okay. If you feel comfortable, you can come up from this position and lift the pelvis up slightly, but keep the hips dropped. Here we're doing global spinal extension. I'm bringing you back that back in. Then finishing off in child's pose, back to our safe flexion position. And that's some basic mobility in yoga. What we need to do now is go through a bit of a sequence with you. And we're going to do the Sun Salutation Sequence for the next half hour. Just checking in with you guys. Everyone feeling okay? Give me a quick thumbs up in the chat if you're feeling okay, feeling good. Yeah. Making sure you're doing well. Fantastic. Okay, so if everyone's still with me, let's, you're feeling a bit like a tin man. Okay, not to worry. Okay, it's very early in the morning, so don't worry too much. So now we're going to do the Sun Salutation Flow, which will be very modified because it's for people with back pain rather than a normal Sun Salutation. It will help. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand at the top of our mat, place our hands on our thighs, knees slightly bent, and we just roll down as much as we feel comfortable. Yeah, and then we're going to roll back up again. Yeah, let's do that again. So rolling down, chin first, spine, knees nice and soft, and we're just reaching down here. From now, we're going to place the hands on top of the thighs, and we're going to straighten the legs as much as we feel comfortable and flat in the back. Good. And then we're going to bend the knees a lot, and then we place the hands down on the floor. We're going to take one leg back and the other leg back. We're going to bring ourselves onto our knees, and then we're going to slowly lower, like we're doing an eccentric push-up, all the way down to the floor. That movement is called Chaturanga. And then we can just slowly lift into this easy Cobra position here. Then we're going to come back down again. We push all the way back to child's pose. And then we're going to come into our first downward dog. So tuck your toes under. And then just lift your hips high. Okay. Now what I want you to do is kind of pedal your feet. So we're stretching the calves and the hamstrings. Good. So we're just getting a good stretch in that posterior chain, like we're just doing a bit of marching on the spot. Feet about shoulder width apart, and just easing into this position here. Legs can be bent, What matters is the hips are high. Okay. From this position, we're going to kneel down, walk the hands back, take one leg up, so we're in a lunge position, and then all we're going to do are raise the arms and lean back slightly. So we're getting a stretch in the hip flexor. This position here, then we're going to come down, back into that kneeling position, press up kneeling position, and we swap over. This time the other leg comes forwards and through, and we lean back. Getting a good stretch on that hip flexor. Coming back into this press up position, back into this kneeling position, coming all the way down, Chaturanga, pushing through into a gentle Cobra, pushing back into child's pose, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up, pedal the feet again. So we're getting that good stretch on the calves, the back of the legs, and then try and hold this position for 3 breaths. You're just easing into this position. You can keep pedaling the feet, keep the knees soft. What matters is the hips go up to the sky. And then just come back into an easy resting position. We come back over. So that was the modified Sun Salutation. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are happy with that. Is everyone with me so far? Fantastic. Owner is loving it. Good. Okay. So it's all working well. Yeah, Louise is loving that. Okay. So you can see that this modified sequence is a combination of flexion and extension and a bit of rotation. So now we're going to go into the warrior sequence. So there's 3 warrior poses that we do. Okay. Warrior 1, 2, 3. Now these are quite challenging and we need to get them right. They're all sort of standing based and then very balance based as well. So just be cautious as you start the warrior sequence. So what you want to be doing is feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to step forwards with one leg, doesn't matter, and you're going to turn the other leg out. So rather than be in a lunge position, you turn the back foot out to 45 degrees. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to bend that front knee a little bit, and then your pelvis needs to just rotate so that your pelvis is level. So you might need to rotate a couple of times. What I do is I twist a couple of times in this position until I'm in this nice position here. Then all I'm going to do is just raise my arms to the sky. So at the side it looks like this. I'm in this stance position. I've got bone stacking knee and ankle together, and my arms are raised up, and I'm just holding that position. Okay? So that is Warrior 1. Now Warrior 1 then transfers into Warrior 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn this foot in and wiggle it out until my knee and ankle are there, and I've got an L shape with my feet, and then my arms are in this position. So I'll show you what that looks like from here. I've got one leg forwards, one leg at that L shape position. So that position with my legs, and then one arm is up forwards, the other arm is up and back. So rather than this position, I'm this position. I'm pointed forwards and back. And that is Warrior 2. And then Warrior 3 is much more challenging. So when you're doing Warrior 3, effectively, what you're doing is you're placing your hands on your hips, and you're taking one leg up behind you as you stabilize into that position there. Yeah? The idea is to get the leg up behind you and stabilize in that position. Very, very challenging. Coming back up. So have a little go at all three warrior poses. I'll do it with you. So we start in warrior one. I step back. As I step back, I then turn this foot out slightly, so it's at 45 degrees. It's not there. I make sure that my knee and ankle are in a line, and I pump the hip round a couple of times so the hips are square. When I'm in that position, I just hold that position there. The idea is that my pelvis is twisted so that it's straight in that position there. That's warrior one. From warrior one, so this is warrior one here. We're just wiggle that back leg out a bit so we've got a much deeper stretch. Once you're in that stretch, one arm up to the front, one arm up behind, and we're just in that nice warrior two position. Yeah, that's warrior two, getting a really good stretch on the adductors there. And then warrior three, as we've done before, hands on the hips, nice bent knee to begin, and we just extend that leg back as we lean forwards. So we're just going to extend that leg back, balancing on that leg there. Very nice. And coming back in again. Good. Right, just type in the chat, which one was the most challenging? Warrior 1, 2, or 3? Yeah, definitely warrior 3. Warrior 3 is the most challenging. So now what we're going to do is just do a nice easy sumo. Warrior 3 is exactly like an arabesque, yeah. What we're going to do now is just a nice easy stretch on our groin and ease out any tension. So this is a sumo squat, really good. Sitting on the floor is challenging enough, is it, Ryan? Okay, we've got some work to do, my friend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some yoga blocks to put my heels on, because that's going to help me get into a position with the sumo squat. Most of you will be quite flexible enough. So when we come into this position, so I've got my blocks down there. Some of you won't have to. And then all we're doing is we're just squatting down into this position here, hands into prayer position there. So this is this nice sumo squat position. So have a little go at this. Practice does make perfect. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm using my elbows to push out on my hips into external rotation. And I'm getting a really good stretch in this sumo squat position. Sumo squat and prayer position. Okay, now I can just gently twist and breathe in this position, getting a really nice stretch there. That's exactly what we want to do. So just breathing here, calming that heart rate down, breathing and relaxing. Good. And when you're ready, okay, we're going to do a little balance challenge into what we call crow. So we're going to go from this sumo squat position, placing our hands down on the floor, leaning forwards and lifting our legs up. Yeah, let me show you what that looks from the side. So I've come from my crow position, sumo squat position. My hands are down. I'm leaning forwards. I'm resting my legs just above my elbows, and I'm coming up into crow position there. It's quite a strong position for you. There you go, Shannon. You can do it. Fantastic. So we're into a little bit of crow as a strength exercise as well. So yoga is both strengthening and flexibility. It is a proud moment. Well done. Okay. So we've got lots of these movements that we've done. And what we're going to now do is go into a nice stretch called pigeon. And pigeon is basically hip flexion with external rotation. So it's a really nice place to sit in. So what we're going to do is, from a kneeling position, I'm going to put one leg forwards. It doesn't matter which. And then I'm going to just push forwards into that knee. So I'm coming backwards and forwards with a hand down. Backwards and forwards with a hand down. Then I'm going to take that leg across so it's in line with my other leg. So almost like I'm balancing on a tightrope. And then I'm going to drop it out down to the floor. Let me move back a little bit so you can see. So I put my legs in line, and then I'm just going to drop it out to the side. And then I'm going to slowly ease back into that position there. So it's effectively a glute stretch. What does that look like from the side? I will show you. So I've got one leg forwards, one leg back, into that position. I move this leg across so the legs are in line, and then I just drop it down to the floor into that position. Yeah, and then what I might do is I might sort of roll around in this position, just feeling a good stretch in there. If I'm very flexible, I might come into resting pigeon. Or some of you might be up here with your leg up here, really struggling to do that. Okay, but just gently easing into that position. And explore where the tightness is. Getting that tension eased out, moving, releasing and relaxing. Good. Okay, from this position, bring the knee in, so we're doing a 90-90 stretch. And what we can do is we can just roll backward and forwards like this. We're creating that hip internal and external rotation either side. Internal, external rotation, beautiful thing. Couple more. Good. Right. Are we ready to do a full Sun Salutation? Now, this isn't going to be something that you give your patients, it's just for you to experience. So the full Sun Salutation is a lot harder, where we combine the movements and the flow. Okay? It's not a competition. Louise is 100% right. This is about you, your body, your pace. Yeah? So we're just going to do some gentle movements here. And we're just flowing through and seeing how the movements link together. Okay, so we start at the top of our mat. And we raise our arms to the sky. And we lean back just ever so slightly. Then we can reach forwards and fold. Bending the knees if you need to. Hands on top of the thighs or the shins. And then we extend back into tabletop. Good. Bend the knees. We're going to place the hands down. We step back once. We step back twice into a press-up position. You can go down onto your knees if you want to. Okay, from this position, we go down into Chaturanga, that slow eccentric push-up, and then we push forwards into upward dog. Look at the ceiling. Good. From this position, we can either come through child's pose and gently push up, or we can come through downward dog. We can lift the hips up and then push into downward dog from that position. Whatever you're doing, just backwards and forwards with the legs, stretching out. If you're feeling up for it, you can take one leg behind you and then just externally rotate into scorpion. Back down, the other side. So take the leg behind you and then twist the pelvis. So we're getting a good stretch there. Try it again the other side. Leg comes behind and twisting the pelvis. Swapping over, extend the leg behind you and just externally rotate the hips. Good. From this position, just bring one leg through into our hip flexor stretch, leaning back. Hands come down, back into Chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Leg comes through into our stretch, back down, back through Chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. To the knees, walk the hands back, so you're back sitting on your haunches, leaning forwards and stretching out there. Okay, so that's a nice way of just combining all those various movements that we've got. What we haven't done is we haven't added the warrior sequence to that. And what we do is we layer in terms of progressive, different ways of doing stuff, because everyone's going to be at different levels. So the key is just working the spine, getting some nice hamstring mobility will be really key. And there's some various nice ways that we can do that. So let's go into a little bit of hamstring work. So we'll start on our backs with the bent knee. And all we're going to do is just try and straighten the leg with a bent knee. So just gently straightening the leg. If you're feeling flexible, you might be able to grab your toes and just straighten the leg out a little bit. Just straightening the leg. Doesn't have to fully straighten. We're just straightening that leg as much as we can. We're just feeling that good stretch on the hamstrings. Good. Swap over, do the other side. Hands behind the knee. Just extending the leg. Just getting a good stretch on those hamstrings. Good. If you want to, grab your big toe and just straighten that leg a couple of times. That's it. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Getting a good stretch on those hamstrings. Yeah, lovely. So hamstrings should be feeling nice and loose. Okay, so when we go to do our sit and reach test, we should be able to reach a little bit further forwards. We might be able to grab the toes. We might need to bend the knees. But what we're doing is we're just easing into a nice stretch in this position. Just really working the hamstrings and the posterior chain. Bend the knees if you need to. Just getting that good stretch there. Walk the legs out. And again, just breathing and relaxing into it. Good. When you're more advanced, you can do this in a standing position. So standing hamstring stretch is a lot more challenging. So what we do, same thing again, raise one hip, hand on the knee, and just extend that out a couple of times. Nice and easy. Some of you might want to just stay here, holding the knee. Okay, others of you more flexible might want to grab the toes and just extend the leg out into that position. So we're just getting a nice stretch in that position. Standing hamstring stretch, very challenging, good for balance and proprioception, and of course, you're getting that range of movement training as well. So standing hamstring stretch, very challenging. Obviously, you wouldn't be doing that with your patients, but you can do some nice easy stuff where you're just getting them to extend the leg out. Okay, so all really good for a little bit of nerve flossing and everything we do for spinal health. Right, we've just got time for one more sequence. But before we go through anything, I think I've done, Louise, have I done all the 5 exercises that you wanted? Can we just check that? Have we done all your 5 exercises? I hope so. So good, warrior.
I think so. Sorry, my buttons wouldn't press. I think so. I've forgotten what we've done now.
We've done a lot. Let me just check.
Let me just go through. Have we done child pose to Cobra? Check. We definitely did that one. We've done Warrior 3. We've done Pigeon Stretch. We've done Chaturanga, and we've done Sumo Stretch. Yes, we've done all 5.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to put them into a bit of a flow. just to finish. Does that seem okay?
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Okay, so let us flow. So nice, easy flow. Again, your patients probably, this might be a bit too much for your patients, but we're just giving you a visceral experience of yoga itself. Okay, so standing at the front of your mat. Another Sun Salutation. So we reach up, lean back slightly, reaching forwards. Hands on top of the shins or the thighs, tabletop, flatten the back, straighten the legs if you can. Bend down so the hands are on the floor. One leg, other leg, holding that position. Coming onto your knees if you need to, okay? Or down into Chaturanga. Pushing up into Cobra, or we could come all the way up into Up Dog. You decide. From here, back into Child's Pose. Easing back. Untuck the toes, or tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up. Pedal through the feet. Downward Dog. So just pushing down into this position. Straightening the arms. Try and look at your belly button. Good. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to take one leg and bring it through into pigeon. So we're now in that pigeon stretch, and we can just move about, feeling that good stretch. Moving around into that lovely stretch. Put your hands down, push the leg back, and back into down dog. You can do the same thing the other side. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to walk the hands back into this squat position, into your crow, quick crow, down, walk the hands forwards, back into down dog. Feeling that good stretch there. Leg comes up, bring it through into our lunge position, reaching back. Good. Comes down. Bring the leg up, back into down dog. We switch over sides. Bring the leg up, kicking through into that hip flexor stretch. Back down, kick the leg up and through, back into down dog. Scorpion, lift the leg up, twist the hips. Just getting a little twist. Other side, lift the leg up, little twist. Okay, and then from here, from down dog, we can come into more of a plank press up position. And we can bring one knee in and back. One knee out to the side and back. And one knee to the other elbow and back. Back into child's pose. Palming forwards and lying on our tummy. From this position, nice relaxed quad stretch. Just getting an easy quad stretch here. 30 seconds normally, not during this thing. Swapping over. Getting a good stretch there. Try and push the hips down into the mat. So feeling that good stretch. Release, relax. Hands by your chest. Pushing up onto your knees. Back into child's pose. Bring the hands and the elbows so they stack under each other. And we're just going to thread the needle, take one arm through and twist down. With a thoracic rotation. Come back up, 4-point kneeling. Take the other arm, twist through. So we're getting that rotation there, the thoracic spine. Back to center. sit back on your heels and relax. And then all we've got to do is the relaxation meditation. So what I want you to do is lie on your back. Lie on your backs now. Session's over, lying on your back. Nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And just focus on your breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. Just absorbing all the good stretching, strengthening, and balance work that you've done. Just feel your toes are relaxing. Feel your feet are relaxing. Feel your ankles and your calves, your ankles and calves are relaxing. Feel your quads are relaxing. Feel your hamstrings are relaxing. Feel your hip flexors are relaxing. Feel your glutes are relaxing. Feel your chest is relaxing. Feel your back is relaxing. Feel your shoulders are relaxing. Feel your arms are relaxing. Feel your hands are relaxing. Feel your jaw is relaxing. Feel your eyes are relaxing. Feel the crown of your head is relaxing. Relaxing your body, relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, relaxing your mind. Nothing to do but breathe and relax and rest. 1 minute of total relaxation in silence. Just breathe, relax, check in with your body. Okay, and from your resting position, just bring yourself into a comfortable seated position now. Just sitting down in a nice comfortable position. Could be sitting back on your heels, could be sitting on a block. Thank you very much for participating in the Sam yoga session. If you've got any questions, we'll come on to those in a second. So we're just going to close out. Light to all, truth to all, love to all, and thank you very much. Give yourself a clap. And we're done. Louise, we are finished.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. For those of you who have done that and enjoyed it and are sat there at home with your lycra and your headbands and your leg warmers on, you know how I like a Twitter picture. because we're doing great stuff at Salford, and I think we should be promoting everybody. Gabrielle, we should do it every morning. Yes, there's no reason why you can't put Dale on now. You've got a recording of him. You can have him on before your cornflakes in the background and doing this. So if you wouldn't mind, and will this work now, Dale, in terms of flicking your doing your pictures on? Guys, if you've got your pictures on, how many on the screen can you do? Put your cameras on, guys, if you're on. Let's see if we can get, if you're happy to. Let's see if we can get a photo. Can we do a photo?
I don't think it's like Zoom. I can only see 4 people on my screen.
Yeah.
And they just said 66.
Is it just Teams? Yay! There we go. There's one. And bonus, she's got a Christmas tree in the background.
Turn your cameras on, please, guys. Let's see if we can get a photo.
Can you get it on? Yay! I'm going to switch mine off so I can actually take the photograph.
Okay, Inaz, can you turn your camera on?
No, I'll take mine on. I'll keep mine on.
Sure?
I'll keep mine on.
Yes, better.
We do a yoga pose. Everybody do a yoga pose, whatever yoga pose you like. I don't know if we can get any more on. Can we get any more on? I don't think we can we?
Look at that. Jasper's doing some great stuff.
Love it, Jasper. Okay. Yeah, it's not as good as Teams, is it? Teams, you can get a pile of pictures on, can't you? Well done, Jasper. Yeah. And the headband is rocking.
Thank you.
Brownie points for the headband. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much, Dale, this morning for that. Let's take a break now. Okay, let's have a 10-minute coffee break. We'll come back. I preferred the headband, Jasper, from the photograph. I definitely prefer the headband. Let's come back at past, everybody, and we're going to start some case studies. Okay, so we're going to go through some unseen case studies. This should be revision, consolidation for you, and we'll see you back at past, back in the room. Okay, let me switch off the recording.